Welcome to the new episode of Random Podcast Tech. My name is Vince, and in this episode, I had a conversation with Agnese Rakovska. She is a Latvian singer and songwriter, and she is the singer of a Latvian band Triana Park, who represented Latvia at Eurovision in 2017. We talked a lot about her work, her missions, about the Latvian music industry, and of course, we talked about Eurovision and about Supernova 2024 because Agnese was the part of the Supernova. So if you wanna hear all the details and all the stories, you should check this episode. And if you wanna support me, you can do it on YouTube, on Spotify, on TikTok, on Facebook, and on Instagram. You can find all the link in the description. And finally, have fun! So, welcome everyone who joined to this live, and thank you for joining. And today's guest, the first guest of the year, is Agnese Rakovska from Latvia, from the Triana Park. Hello.
Hey.
What is up?
Vincent,
What is upcoming?
we're planning several projects simultaneously, and one of them, of course, is my performance in Supernova. And everything together is just like making this crazy mixture of crazy. And outside we have beautiful weather in Riga, it's snowing, and I'm really
Wow.
forward to start this year with a bang. So yeah, we're doing a lot of cool things, and I can't wait to share.
All right. So cool. But we start with the beginning. I'm totally interested in how did you start singing and when?
So I remember that my musical vibe was always connected to my family, and my father is a musician, and we started actually the band together. And I really believe that my father has made this path for me, and the early education that I received in home, because I had studio, opened these gates for my creativity. And that's why now working with young artists and serving them music agency management as a service, we really put a lot of focus on education, because I know education is changing the mind of a person. And if you are well educated, you can make choices and deliver. And my focus is creativity. So I hope you heard my song. And AI is about creativity. It's not about like, oh, AI is going to do everything for me. No, AI is a tool I will use to boost my creativity. And I really believe in technologies, and we work on projects to put technology in schools all around Latvia. And I really want to change the focus and the landscape of Latvian music ecosystem. And I believe that it can be only done by education. And we need to change the education system. So we have made very hard and big steps. And Sweden and Scandinavia is our vector that we want to go, because they are leaders in the market. And that drew a lot of inspiration from Sweden. I had a lot of trips to Norway and Denmark. I love this place. People are so advanced, and I believe that we can bring this to Latvia. And I want to expand the consciousness and the knowledge of my fellow musicians and young artists. So I think it's bigger than just like, hey, I just want to go and sing on Supernova, my song. The message is bigger and larger, and I hope that people will get it. And we live in times when everything is changing so fast, and the landscape of music industry is changing. So we really have to be agile and super creative. And maybe I'm not the, best singer in the world, but I definitely be the most creative person in the room. So I really have focused and experienced that all my life. I don't consider myself from the childhood when I started singing. It's not about singing. It's my creativity that pops out as singing, as music. So I'm a creative person, and I can do a lot of different creative projects. I can film videos, I can do photos, I can think in so many ways, but the main focus you see from me is music, you know. So I don't know if I answered the question, but everything stems from education.
Wow, what missions and wow, what goals and messages. Wow, you're so colorful.
Thank you.
And yeah, it's so cool hearing them, because yeah, if someone is a musician and sometimes they just want to go to concerts or writes music, but yeah, your mission is more, and it's more interesting. So I guess it's really cool that you are making a lot of things within music and try to develop, for example, the Latvian music. Wow, so cool.
So we are currently working on, like, I want to make an acceleration program in Latvia that contains musicians as not like, uh, you know, those crazy random people who just want to start as a musician. It's like a business project, you know. We have to think about it as a business, and unfortunately, we don't have that in Latvia, and nobody considers startup musician as a potential investment. Nobody, and it's sad because in America there is different approach, and people spend a lot of money on investments in hip hop artists, emerging artists, and industry is there. I agree, but we still can do something, and I'm focusing on opening up these acceleration programs, incubation programs, because there are not a lot of people who can afford to have this service from an agency. It's quite expensive, you know. And yes, it's actually quite expensive to be in the music industry, you know. Music production, a lot of money. Everything costs so much money, but I think that we live in the best time right now because everything is in your computer, you know, and you can make some cool demos almost in your bedroom, you know, and like there is actually no good like how to say, like everything is served on a golden platter now, you know, so you just have to be willing to put in the work and be educated to understand what to do with yourself. So education actually is like the main focus of my life right now. I have spent 15 years building my career in Latvia, and I think at one point you just want to uplift the community around you. You know, it's like it gets lonely in your place where you play. You know, you want more people to engage in the game, and there are not a lot of people who are around. And the industry in Latvia is quite like not scattered, but like it's quite divided. It's small and divided, and everybody's trying to pull their strings and, you know, do their little thing. And I say, hey, let's come together and do it as one, you know. And they're like, no, I'm gonna do it on my own. And I'm like, okay, you will spend like next 10 years trying, you know. And people are so oblivious, you know, to this idea that they rather go longer, but you know. And I'm a community person. I really feel that communication and connection can bring you like such immense success, you know. And that's why my agency is called Constellation, because if I'm a star and you're a star, then we have to understand how we connect, and this will be my personal constellation, you know. That's what the song is about, cosmic experience and stuff. And I also think that through this song and Supernova, you can just feel that my music is like more also about movies and audio branding, you know, because the song is actually more like a soundtrack for a futuristic movie, not so much like a song, you know. I don't know, I kind of feel it that way. But I really love the song and the vibe, what it brings, and this future, like good future scenario, you know, that we find happiness and love already here on earth, you know, that we don't have to go like searching for the distant planets, you know, like interstellar vibe and stuff like that. So I'm about that.
And what do you exactly do when you are working with children? What are the tasks, or what do you do?
So I'm not working every day with children, not so much. My colleagues are doing that here, but uh, I'm working more with people who are already like 14, 15 years old, and they kind of already want to step into the game, you know. They have the possibility to work on their demos, and this year we released 2 albums. One girl was 15,
Wow.
the other is 24 or 22. So I kind of more focus on the people who want to go professional, you know. What is the things that I can add so they sound and look professional, as professional they can be when they are 15 years old, you know. But I'm trying to do the best I can, and the education part with the kids, it's more like the domain that is for my colleagues, because I honestly I just don't have time for that anymore. But I really love to work with kids. Although I really love all those teachers who give their energy, because this is a very draining job. They take a lot of energy from you, so you really have to be passionate about it. And here we can speak also about the education system in Latvia that pays so not much money for these teachers, you know, and it's like, it's crazy. I think teacher is the most important person in your life, and they have to receive good amount of money for their input, for their mental health and everything, and it's just not happening. So I really want to change that. I want to put teacher in the center of everything, and teacher who learns also in the process. I never think that you can stop learning yourself, although you're a teacher. It's never ending process. Teaching, learning, learning and teaching. It's like this. I really think it's important, and I surround myself with only younger people. Agency has like, I think maybe like like the middle age is like 20 years old, I think. Because I want to be on the side of the new world, and I want to feel these vibes, and that's why this AI song, I think it sounds like trendy and it's popping, and it's just there, you know. It's not like something, oh, I heard like something like that 5 years ago. So no, it's the sound of the, not maybe from the future, but it's definitely sound from today, you know. And it's important. I want to be on the wave. I want to understand what people think, what the 15-year-old thinks. And it will drastically change the way we learn. It is actually changing already. In Latvia, in last year, people who want to learn in school from home, distant learning, 20% is going up. And I think it's a very big warning sign, because people just don't want to spend their time on sitting in classrooms and learning whatever. People want to get real information in real time, and it has to have value. And if it doesn't have it, they're leaving. And that's okay. I think that this is a time of change, and I like it. I really, really like it. I wanted to use it my advantage. That's why I learned things. Today we actually spoke with one partner who are uh, learning people to code, you know, coding. So I'm like, we need that here. Because in Sweden, in schools, they learn not to produce music anymore, but they also learn coding. Can you imagine? So I want to understand why. What is the industry wanting from these people who are coming in? And these are very important questions, and I'm very happy that I have this touch of educational vibe in my life. I'm a passionate educational, you know, advocate. So
And yeah, it's so important, I guess. And as you mentioned, education within music, I I totally remember that in Hungary that's the same situation, and it's so sad. And if you wanna live um, with music, it's so hard in Hungary too. So yeah, it's so sad, but I see that now we can't change lots of things, but I really hope in the future we will. All right.
Hope is a good thing, you know. I'm not a believer. I'm not hoping on something. I'm just putting a strategy plan on my wall and I'm executing. And it took me a year, one whole year, just to push through. And last year in December, we put the first digital station in the first school in Latvia. It took me more than a year to do that.
Wow.
And it's crazy. And actually, I want to be about it. And maybe countries like your country and other countries where you have similar problems, maybe they can see this as a valuable information and see how they implemented it in your country as well. So
I really hope that. All right. I wanna ask about your Eurovision experiences because you and your band were on Eurovision in 2017, I guess. Yes. And what were your experiences? What could you get from Eurovision? Just tell us.
actually, Eurovision was quite a big life goal for us, and I will tell you why. Because in Latvia, there are not a lot of things you can do, you know. Let's be honest, we are not the main point of the industry. Nobody really cares, and I'm actually still wondering why the three major labels decided to come to this region anyways. But they are here, so let's take this as a good sign that the industry is breathing, you know. But still, let's be real, you know. We are where we are, and it was just a natural progression of the band that wants to go further in their career. So we did it, and it was the most craziest experience I have ever experienced. It's like a Olympics for musicians, you know. So you just experience that kind of amount of pressure and everything together. I can't even tell where you can replicate something like that because it's not capable, you know. So after coming back and deciding we are doing further, we released records in Latvian and a lot of several cool singles that went like super great. And I opened up my agency, and it's like a check mark, you know, on your bio that you have done it, and you can just focus on other things in your life, and that's great. Because there are artists in Latvia who are trying to vision for, I mean, 15 years, and that's so tiresome, you know. And I hope that they will go one day, but it's just too much energy. So I just can focus on education, on my agency, on working with young kids and people who want to step into the game. I'm writing my book about music management, and I'm working on so many cool projects that it's just a stepping stone, a big stepping stone. And I would tell every artist to try to do it if you can, because it's a beautiful experience. And and that's it. And just write good songs, you know.
And do you still have friends from Eurovision?
um, I don't have a lot of friends, you know. I mean, I have a lot of connaissances, you know. I don't have a lot of like friends. I mean, I barely have time for myself, you know. I'm like so overwhelmed with everything. So I made some good connections, but they're not that active. And I follow for the people who was in my year. And I recently went to Poland, and I would really like to translate some songs that I have in Latvian and put them into Polish market and think about adapting the songs that I have for other markets. But it's not like I'm having like close call friends with like guy from Sweden, you know, in 2017. So no, I mean everybody has their work and they're busy and it's okay.
And did you have a favorite song from Eurovision 2017?
Oh my God, It's such a great question. I don't actually remember. I'm so like digging up the memories right now. I think Italians are always great. They always are so energetic and passionate. So I think you can never go wrong with Italy. Um, I, I don't remember. I'm sorry.
No problem. And and now or since 2017, do you still following Eurovision?
No, I'm sorry, but I just try to keep it up and see some snippets in my colleagues and agencies. They're like, hey, this song from Norway is trending. You have to see this. Hey, they're keeping me updated. But I mean, it's so much information, and I don't want to be harsh, but I mean, like 80% of those songs are like, I wouldn't want to spend my time, you know. But I really remember this guy from Italy. That was in 2018, and he had a song about money in Italian. No, I think you
Yeah,
remember. He had like golden
yeah,
ear. Yeah. I mean, I just loved the guy so much. I really loved his presence and how he sang, and I followed him on Spotify and stuff. So there are some gems coming out of this, you know. But a lot of things are just like noise, you know, for me. And I really loved last year the Finland song. I mean, I was hoping it's gonna win, but Lorraine, for me it was too generic. I mean, there were TikToks trending that like the song was dissected into like 10 parts, and each part was from another song that is already written and released. It was like I think it was so messy, you know, like it lacked some kind of original vibe to it. But Lorraine is an amazing performer. I mean, she's great. She was in Riga recently, and she has this mysterious stage presence and the nails and everything. But I mean, the song, well, not my cup of tea. Maybe only because it had just too much references, you know. And there was quite like people buzzing around it. Like, how can this win if it's like taking like chops of melodies from other artists? So that's why I really liked Finland. It was alternative. It was funny, ironic. It was like giving you the like, hey, let's go party. And I was like mesmerized. How can you put together like this metal even, you know, vibe with some kind of dancers dancing flamenco? It was like, it was crazy. I loved it, you know. It was something fresh.
yeah. I totally agree with you, and I really hope that Finland would win, but unfortunately not. And in this year, you went to Supernova, and why did you choose going alone, and why don't you go with uh, Triana Park?
Um, because it would be like so weird to do that with the band and with a brand that has already been there and done that. And Triana Park as a strategy right now is to more focus on Latvian markets, and we are producing tours in spring, and in December we are trying to work on new material to be released in Latvian. So there's no strategical point of pushing Triana Park again for Eurovision. And my ego is not that big, you know. It just does its job, and right now I'm more focused on myself, and not only as an artist and a performer, but as a writer and a person who can create audio branding ideas for different brands, movies, and expand my like possibilities. So that's why I'm going as a solo, because I'm not only a singer, I'm definitely more than that. And I hope that through this lens, people will see that. And I just want to experience that more. And I really want to see my music in big American movies like Dune and it's just crazy, you know, to experience. And actually, we're waiting for a Dolby Atmos new master for the song, and I think it will be just crazy to see and to hear the song with the visualizer that we released in a cinema, you know. And this is something that I'm really focused to experience music as a sensory thing, you know. It's not only about, okay, she's gonna sing the song. I want to experience, you know, everything that it can give, the visuals and stuff. So it's just a new shape and a new challenge for me as an artist that writes music.
My last question is, what's your favorite process of writing music?
So music, in my opinion, I don't want to be like offensive to anybody, but I think is the highest form of art, only because it doesn't have any matter. You don't see it, you don't touch it, but you can like experience so much emotions from music. It's almost magical, you know, music, magic, it's almost there. Just to wrap it up, I just think that music is really something magical. And when you create music, when you write music, the time stops literally. You lose sense of time, you lose sense of everything, and you are in a very different state. And that's why I'm advocating education so much, because you want to use your powerful resource as good as you can. This is your lifetime mission, to be here and to use your potential to the fullest. And if you're not doing it, then there's something wrong. You have to find your passion and to execute yourself in this life as the best version of yourself. For me, it's music, creation, and I wish all the best to your viewers and all the people who participate. I really want to meet everybody, get to know new people. So thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, Agnes, I have a lot of questions, but I know that you don't have time. But I really hope that another time we will talk again, because your work, your processes are so interesting.
Thank you so much for having me, and see you.
Thank you so much, and thank you who watched this live, and have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.